I'm going to talk a little bit about Bryan Bauer's layout here, and I think I did a few months ago, and you might go back and find that video too, but I'm going to go through it real quick for you all here, and we're going to talk about why that works so good. Hey everybody, welcome to Stalking the Wild Autoharp 2026. It's a brand new year, and this is my 10th year of making Autoharp videos for you all on YouTube, and we're going to have some special talk about that in a few videos. Being New Year's Day, I'm off, and I'm cooking up a whole batch of Autoharp videos for you in one day. This is kind of the way I do it now. When I'm off, or I'll take a day off, and I will shoot a whole bunch of videos. The last ones I made were back in April of 2025, and I released them throughout the year. And so that worked good for me, so I'm going to do that for you again. And I'm setting up to do one for you on blues, like I just did. But in order to do that, I feel like I need to explain a couple of things first, and so that's going to require a couple of setup videos talking about your button layout. Now, a lot of you already use Bryan Bauer's layout. This is a layout that was invented by, guess who? Bryan Bauer's, and it's a very logical, convenient layout for your fingers if you're not using it. Oscar Schmidts don't come in Bryan Bauer's layout, except for their Americana model, which some people will call the bluegrass model. That one is in Bryan Bauer's layout, but the rest of them are not. But if you have a 21 chord, and by the way, the Bryan Bauer's only works on a 21 chord instrument, unfortunately, or fortunately. But if you have a chromatic, it really helps to have 21 chords and 3 rows. So first thing, I'm going to show you this other Autoharp, which is an Oscar Schmidt setup in Bryan Bauer's layout. And I'm just going to hold it up here to the camera and see if I can make that work for you so you can see it. If not, I may have to cut another video with a close-up camera and show it to you, and I'll edit that in later. But okay, so it's this great old Japanese Oscar Schmidt from the late 80s, early 90s, I guess. I made a video a long time ago about setting up these chord bars and making them so they don't clack. They're real quiet. That one's called Chord Bar Secrets for the Bold and Crafty, I think. If you go back and look for that, it's like 7-8 years ago. I'm going to turn this way so that you can see the chord bars and how they're laid out. And I can see I'm getting a shadow of my camera on there. But hopefully this will zoom in and you can see it. The middle row, we call this the treble row because it's on the treble side of the instrument. We call this the bass row. I can tell my arm's going to get tired here. The bass row is on the bass side of the instrument, and then there's the middle row, which goes down the middle. So in Bryan Bauer's layout, the middle row is the majors, and the treble row is the minors, or excuse me, the bass row is the minors, and the treble row is the sevenths. And all of this is figuring that your hand, your button hand, if you're a lefty, is coming in from the treble side and wrapping around the side of the instrument. And so what that does is you play mostly in the middle with 3 fingers on 3 consecutive major chords. For example, C, F, and G. Now, why aren't they alphabetical? Because the way harmony works and chords work, it works in a system that I call up 5. That's how you go around the circle of fifths. But these are in circle of fifths arrangement. I'll talk about up 5 in another video. Circle of fifths. We've got B flat, F, C, G, D, A, and E. This doesn't say E, but it does on the side, because I didn't have, at that time, I didn't have an E button or an F sharp minor button or a B minor button. So I made them and I put stickers on the side, but I repurposed some other buttons. So what these 3 down here say on the top isn't what they are. But we're not going to get into those today. They're just going to sit there. So circle of fifths going up 5 each one. You count up 5 from C, you go to G. C, D, E, F, G, up 5. Then from G, you go to D. G, A, B, C, D. And around you go through the circle of 5s, each time going up 5 to get to the next button. Okay, now, right down from each major chord in the middle, if you curl your finger underneath, you come to the 7th of the same letter. For example, C, C7, G, G7, D, D7. So all these are 7ths in the same up 5 arrangement, going all through, okay? Logical, huh? And then when you reach out, you don't get the same, you don't get a G minor up from the G major. Might seem like it makes sense, but G minor doesn't belong to the key of G major. Instead, you get the minor 6th. But they're in circle of 5s too, and they go in their own circle: G, D, A, E, B minor, F sharp minor. And that's the Bryan Bowers layout. You got your majors in the middle, you got your 7ths on the treble side, and you got your minors on the bass side. So that's the basics of the Bryan Bowers layout. I'm going to cut in a picture for you of the Bryan Bowers layout taken off of this harp and then taken in a grid so that you can see where they are to each other. And that's enough for this video. That's the Bryan Bowers layout. Hope you like it. I hope you change your harp over. There's yet another video that shows how to take this cover off, what to watch out for, how you can move stuff around and put it back together so that you can experiment, because that's one of the great things about an Oscar Schmidt 21 chord array, is that you can move the buttons around and you can move the chord bars around and experiment with different layouts. But believe me, Bryan Bowers layout is the one that you want. One of the best things about the Bryan Bowers layout is the majors being in the middle. Most of the time you use major chords. If your majors are down here in the treble row, then they're off center. And so you're pushing harder by a little bit to get them to damp the strings on the bass side, which are the hard ones to damp. So by moving a 1/4 inch up here, is that a 1/4 inch? Looks more like a 1/2 inch. By moving a 1/2 inch up, you are moving a 1/2 inch towards the bass side, and you're right in the center of the chord bar, and so you're using centered energy to play most of the time, which saves you muscle power as you play over a period of 20 minutes or 2 hours or 2 years or 20 years. You know, every little bit helps. Okay, so folks, that's my video on the Bryan Bowers layout. Thanks for watching. I'm Hal Weeks. You can support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Hal Weeks, and just you can kick in a little bit. That helps me to keep going and help providing this quality content for you and for others free of charge. If you want some lessons, you can contact me through my website, halweeks.com, and we can set you up so that I can work with you. You don't have to be in Bryan Bauer's layout. You don't have to have a dAigle Autoharp. You can have an Oscar Schmidt. You don't even have to have a 21 chord. You can have a 15 bar chroma harp, Autoharp, or Oscar Schmidt Autoharp. And I can work with that, and you can work with that until you're ready to move on up. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Stalking the Wild Autoharp. Bye-bye.